Hi and welcome to Troll Market Tarot. Today's reading is about other people again. If you have someone around you who you don't quite get along with, but you want to get along with. So basically it's going to be, how can I get along with this person, or what can I do to get along with this person? As usual, you have pile 1, 2, 3, 4. You select one, or rather, first think of the person you want to get along with, then select the card that seems to call to you, and I'll see you in your reading. Hello, everyone who chose pile 1. We are, as said, going to be looking at how you can get along with a person that you, well, presumably want to get along with. Maybe you're just curious about what you'd have to do to get along with them. That's not impossible either. We're gonna start out by getting a few cards to describe them, and then we'll get a few cards to describe you. And if at any point you go, no, this doesn't describe them, or no, this doesn't describe me, then it's the wrong reading. If you have the cards swapped around, like, oh, it seems the pile that is supposed to describe them actually describes me, and the other way around, then it's the wrong reading. Because if you can't trust the reading to actually get the energies on the correct side, then you can't trust the answer. So there's not going to be any, oh, this describes them, but it feels more like me, and this describes me, but it feels more like them. No. If that happens, not your reading. That's because, well, as I just said, if you can't trust it to get the cards in the correct spots, how can you trust the answer? So if that happens, there is no reading for you this time around. I mean, it will come up again. So let's start out. We'll get a few cards to describe them. And this will be pretty surface, presumably. And then we'll get 2 cards to describe you. Actually, they should be there. 2 cards to describe you. And this is, of course, in relation to each other, but if you are the kind of person who has a very set personality, then it's going to be, you know, the same. Maybe they're someone completely different when they're at home, so the description is still going to be where you can recognize them and yourself. And with any kind of luck, your relationship is honest enough, I was gonna say. It's honest enough about who you are to be able to recognize them. And then we're gonna do something a bit unusual. I'm using my business deck to describe how they see you, because, yeah, I'm only getting one there. Oh, I have to swap decks there. I was going to use another one, but this one seems to want to go. This is going to describe a bit how you see them. And we already have a description of who they are, so this will be more like, are you annoyed by them? Are you fascinated with them? That sort of thing. Cool. Here we go. Okay. So with them, we've got the Tower and the Knight of Wands. So either this is a very fiery, passionate, energetic person who has recently suffered losses, or they are the same description, but they are disruptive. They're trying to actively destroy things, or that's the way you feel. So it's either or. They've either had this big tower moment, or they keep causing tower moments. But they are quite fiery, passionate, driven, energetic, inspiring, probably. Well, you are at sort of the end of a cycle here. You are probably pretty accomplished in what you're doing, whether that's together or just in your life. And you feel ready for something new. You want to do something new. create new things, new ways of doing things, thinking about things, looking at things. So I'd say, yeah, you seem to be pretty. You seem to know what you want. I think they do too, but they are a bit more like chaotic feeling. Whereas you seem more calm, accomplished, but looking for something new. Or just someone who does new things all the time. But I don't think the universe would be there then, because that is too stable. I mean, that's the end of the cycle type thing. When you are here, you have learned your lessons, done the work. And the Ace of Swords then with the new ideas, new sparks, new. So I'm thinking you are the more stable one, probably more accomplished, more emotionally mature, or emotionally aware. Doesn't necessarily have to mean mature, but in connection with. But yeah, we're getting there as well. What they think about you or see you, we have the Hanged Man, which can either represent someone who is just stuck or making what's the word, sacrifices for no real reason, or someone who has a different way of seeing things. But in this case, it would be something positive. And if you're having a conflict with this person, they possibly secretly admire you for your different perspective. But it could also mean that they feel that you are not making the best use of your abilities, that you are just hanging around waiting for something else, sort of thing. Well, you apparently see them as the King of Coins. That's very masculine, a bit slow moving because it's coins, but sturdy, reliable, very manly, actually. Male principle doesn't have to be a man, obviously, but while you might have, the whole toxic masculinity thing, this would be the positive masculinity. Now, those traits can, of course, arise in a woman. So maybe this is someone that you feel is very bossy. That could actually be the case. Or just someone who is very strong, powerful, self-assured, self-reliant. So that'd be how you see them. If this doesn't fit, not your reading. We're gonna try to find out how you can get along with them, because the whole reading is about you not getting along with them or wanting to find a way to get along with them. So we're gonna see what you need to do or how you need to be. Oops, there we go. That card wanted to join. Okay, we'll get 2 more. We're also going to get a dragon advice card, see if they have anything, because these are advices. They should be pretty straightforward about giving advice, one would think, but it kind of didn't. Okay. So what we have here then, the advice card is Mushroom Dragon, Illusion. So either this whole conflict you feel like you're having or that you're not getting along is only in your mind, but it could also be that any connection you feel you're having with this person is all in your mind. You need to really sit down and think about this, because illusions, that's where you have to trust your intuition, and sometimes our intuition wants things, like, or not the intuition, rather the intuition is overridden by things you want. Let's say, for example, that this is a potential partner. That's the easiest example to make, because most of us have had this interest in someone around us, but we realistically are not connecting with them, but we want to. So we keep imagining that things mean something. And we try to see it as, yeah, he or she looked at me today, so clearly there's a connection, whereas they look at everyone when they talk to them. You have to really connect with your intuition here to see things as they really are. Maybe there is no conflict, or maybe you've decided that this person is someone they're not, or maybe you're giving them credit where you shouldn't. But that's something you need to think about. How you should behave, though, to resolve any conflict here is first you have 3 of coins, which is very much about collaboration, I feel, and working together with people. No us and them, it's a we. So you could start thinking about the 2 of you as a team, treating them as a team, meaning that you give them the information they need, or the feelings they need to hear, or the thoughts or the reasonings, so that they can work with you, whether this is work or relationship or family, whatever it is. Work with them, include them in your plans. You have the King of Wands. Now this person then is the Knight of Wands, and he can be a bit directionless. Again, he doesn't have to be a he, but you get the idea. The King of Wands, same energy, but more mature, more focused, more goal-oriented, more of a leader than the Knight. So whereas the Knight will have fantastic ideas and run around in wild circles to try and get the ideas started, the King of Wands can set a direction and can like move towards a goal. He's more focused like that, but he's still very fiery, passionate, driven. So basically help this person harness their whoosh energy and help them focus it. And you have Temperance. So no jumping into the big emotions, no grand gestures. Pace yourself, think, reflect, feel. Like, put out little feelers. How is this person reacting to what I'm saying now? And in this case then, is this person who I think they are? Check in with that from time to time. Maybe you don't actually want to get along with this person because of who they are. And the thing is, we can't get along with everyone. That just doesn't happen. But we can have a civil relationship with more or less everyone. There are exceptions. There are people that are completely impossible to deal with. And usually that's a combination thing. Usually. There's the whole, it's not one person's fault when 2 people are fighting, but sometimes it actually is. Make sure that's not you. You have a meditation card, which I also, Hedge Guardians. Walk widdershins and seek the land under the hill. I can't interpret that for you. You'd have to think about that. I mean, I always use meditation cards about the situation so that you get a clue of how to think. And this then is yours for now. But what I'm thinking is still what I've said. Make the 2 of you into a team. Help them aim and harness their energy and creativity. But take it step by step. Take it easy. No rushing into, no jumping to conclusions. Always check in with your intuition, with your feelings, with your logic. So you check all those 3 whenever you feel doubtful, or whenever you reach a new milestone, or whenever there's development in this relationship, whatever it is. And the intuition part being kind of important, really. Be honest with yourself, because either the conflict is an illusion, or this person is not who your mind is making them up to be. I mean, if you see them as the King of Coins and they are the Knight of Wands with the Tower, the risk here is that you're not actually seeing who they really are, or you're ascribing traits to them that aren't actually there. So that's the best I can suggest. Make the 2 of you into a team. Help them aim their energy. Take it very easy. Connect with your intuition and your feelings and your logic. And good luck with this one. Hello everyone who chose pile 2. We are, as I think I said, I always forget what I say in the intro and what I say in the first reading, and then that trend continues through every reading, or every pile in a reading. But we are going to look at how you can get along with a specific person, the person you're thinking about. So we'll start by getting 2 cards to describe them in a way that will help you recognize them. If you don't recognize them, or if you don't recognize yourself in the cards I'll be putting up to describe you, or if it seems to be flipped, then this is not your reading. Because if you can't trust the cards to end up on the right descriptor, then you can't trust the answer. So there will be no flipping. This side is to describe them. This side is to describe you. If that doesn't match, not your reading. So, we'll start out then, as said, 2 cards to describe them in a way that you will recognize them. Hopefully. The sun's coming up, so the light's getting a bit weird, sorry. I'm gonna have to buy one of those blackout curtains, but that's a later thing. Certainly not today, because everything's closed because of Easter. So, and then what we get is a card that describes how they see you, or how they would describe you. We're using my business deck for that. Regardless of whether this is a business relationship, or romantic, or family, or friendship, doesn't matter. I just felt like that one was good there, because we want to be clear and like concise. This is for how you see them, but this is more of a in relation to. And we're getting a dragon advice card, because I love these, and since this is how do I get along with a person, an advice is a really good thing. That should be fairly clear, hopefully. That should do it for a start. Oh dear. Okay. Okay, so to describe them, we have the Page of Cups and the Lovers. That would or could mean that this is a younger or young, doesn't have to be younger than you, but young person, pretty emotional. With the Lovers as well, that could be either this is someone you're actually in a relationship with, but it could also mean that they follow their feelings more than their brain. They can be a bit impulsive. They are controlled by their emotions in a way, but they're very honest, genuine people. There's not a lot of deception here. This is just someone who feels very deeply, who is very honest and genuine with their emotions. I can imagine that's actually, I mean, if it goes, we're looking here from the angle out of someone you want to get along with but aren't necessarily. And in that case, it could also be that they're a bit of a drama queen or drama king or drama whatever they identify as. And then we have you, and I don't know in this case. 5 of Stones. I mean, this would be, sorry, had to cough. This would be, with 5 of Stones, that's usually someone in a financial difficulty. But it could be someone who's lost their job, lost their home, there's not really stability in it. But they could also be just feeling a bit victimized. Mainly on the material side though, since it is coins or stones or pentacles. And then you have 3 of Wands. And very much realism in that one. So you might be starting a new job or looking for a new job or a new school or something. This feels a bit like someone who has lost something or is just simply in financial difficulty but sees a way out of it. It feels like a realistic person who is perhaps not doing very well materially right now. But they have a plan, they have a way forward, they're not depressed about it. They have a, positive outlook. And that's helpful, and that supposedly describes you. Doesn't match, not your reading. This doesn't match, not your reading. If it does match, then let's move on. This would be how they see you. 3 of Coins, which is very much about collaborations and teamwork. So they probably see you as a team. You might be co-workers. If you're hoping for this to be romantic, I don't think it is. We'll see. But right now it seems more like they're the emotional person, but they see you as a team member, or a co-worker, or someone they collaborate with, but not deeper than that. Whereas you have the 5 of Cups, and I'm getting the feeling of the one that got away. If that's correct for you. then we're going to look at how you should behave, what you should do to get along with this person. Getting 3 cards for that, in no particular order. This isn't first, like, step 1 do this, step 2 do this. This is the behaviors you need. Okay. I feel that this is probably someone you've had a crush on or a relationship with, because the 3 of Swords. And then Temperance, 8 of Pentacles. I said this wasn't in any specific order, and it isn't. If this is the one that got away, if that's actually what it is, and you basically want them back, don't. Mourn what you've lost. Cry about it, be sad, allow yourself to feel that, and move on. It's actually what I'm thinking. And then you have Temperance, which is again balance, and it's a bit like no big gestures, no big drama, just take it easy, keep the balance, keep it steady. And then you have 8 of Pentacles. So that kind of tells me this person really only sees you as someone they work with or someone they collaborate with, because 8 of Pentacles, that's work, basically. Your Dragon Advice card kind of hints at the same thing. You have Mushroom Dragon with Illusion. Pile 1 actually had that one as well, which is unusual. No, it happens a lot, actually, that I get the same advice cards for a lot of piles. And if this is relationships, then what this is suggesting, as I also explained in pile 1, it could be that you are projecting things, signs, feelings onto this relationship that don't actually exist. Like when this person looks at you and smiles, you go, they love me, or they want to promote me if it's a coworker, or I'm the favorite child if it's a parent, or, you know, you get the idea. But you need to check in on 3 points with this one, with your intuition, with your feelings, and with your logic. Is what I'm seeing really what I feel like it is? Or am I over-interpreting? Am I reaching a bit too hard here? There is an illusion involved, and usually with illusions, if this person really sees you as the 3 of Pentacles, so the team, the co-worker, and you feel like they're the one that got away, so you'd want more connection, they might not want that. They might... I'm gonna go with an example that might upset a few people now, but you know, friend zoning? I actually don't feel like the friend zone exists. There are 2 scenarios where someone ends up in the friend zone. The first one is you're not romantically or sexually interested in someone, but you do want to be their friend because they're a nice person, and now you're friends. You can't be in love with everyone. You're not going to click that way with everyone. You're not even going to be friends with everyone. And in the case of the friend zone, it could just be this person wants you as a friend, not as a lover. And that's not an insult, and that's not something they can do much about. Some people you just don't feel romantically drawn to. There is the scenario too in the friend zone thing. I'm not a fan of the term friend zone because I don't really believe it exists for this reason. Aside from people genuinely wanting to be friends with you, there is also the scenario where someone is afraid to say, sorry, I'm not interested in you. We can be friends. So they offer something to not make you angry. If that is the case here, then you need to fix that. No one should be afraid of saying, I'm not interested in you, because they might hurt your feelings, or you might be angry, or you might try to hurt them. I'm not saying that's the case. This is just an example. But whatever is going on, there is an illusion in this relationship. It could be that the conflict you're experiencing is illusionary. But somehow, with these cards, I more feel like you might be reaching to see more importance in this relationship than there is. Allow yourself to grieve that. Strike up a good balance that isn't full of drama or grand gestures, and keep it to work, whether this is school, family, friend, whatever. You have also a meditation card, and it is the Green Maid. The green fae speak to you. Let them guide you to safety. I can't interpret that for you. You have to think about what it means. But it might actually be related. You might be supposed to move out of this connection for your own sake. I don't know. Please let me know how you felt about this, and we'll see if there's anything I missed, anything I should have picked up on, and good luck. Hello everyone who chose pile 3. I'm sorry about the light across here. The curtain isn't entirely, tight. So the light comes in from the sunrise. Well, sunrise, it's been up for 3 hours now, but yeah. Anyway, sorry about that. You'll have to put up with it. We are today looking at what you can do to get along with a specific person that you are thinking about. So we'll start out by getting a few cards, 2 to be precise, to describe them in a way that would let you recognize them. It might not be their genuine personality, but it is a way that will let you recognize them. Then we'll get 2 cards to describe you in a way where you recognize yourself. The thing is, if you don't recognize them from those cards, or if you don't recognize you, it's not your reading. There is also, if you think that you're in this pile and they're in this pile, it's not your reading. If we can't trust the cards to end up in the correct piles, then we can't trust the answer. So this is going to be them. This is going to be you. If it doesn't fit, it's not your reading. But with that out of the way, we're getting 2 cards to describe the person that pile 3 is thinking about, in a way that will let them recognize them. And then we're getting 2 cards to describe pile 3 in a way where they'll recognize themselves. We're also getting 1 card to say how this person sees you or would describe you to themselves. Just 1 card to keep this simple and straightforward. And then we're getting 1 card for how you see or would describe them. So there. Apart from that, we are also getting a dragon advice card. Since this whole reading is about how to get along with someone, you might need advice. And they're pretty much designed for that. There we go. And let's have a look. Oh dear. Okay. I wonder if this is someone you've actually broken up with. It's a bit of a lazy interpretation, but the Tower and the Lovers, if you would describe someone who you'd been married to and had a divorce, that would be it. It's my ex-partner, my ex-husband, ex-wife, ex-spouse, but it broke apart. That's just, I mean, this could be someone you really felt you had a close relationship with, like a friend, and then the friendship ended, or a family member that you don't get along with, but this is someone you were close with, but it ended, from what I can tell. You, on this side, you get the Hermit and 8 of Wands, so you've probably been, what's the word, a bit secluded, seeking yourself or seeking truths in things, not necessarily partying all night and seeking external validation or gratification. You've been staying more to yourself. With the 8 of Wands, I think you're kind of waking up from that. You're effective. You want to move out of seclusion. You're done with the truth seeking and fixing yourself, is how I'd see it. Their feelings about you, or how they see you, is the Chariot, which is very driven and in control, strong, clear, focused. I think they really admire you in that way, but it might also be that they feel that you're pushy. It could be that. So consider whichever seems to ring more true. You would see them as the moon. And the moon is... I'm not a fan of the moon, because there's always water in it. And in the water there's usually a like crab or lobster thing. But the thing is, when you see things moving underwater, it could be a crab, it could be Cthulhu. I think I've mentioned that example before. The moon is, for me, the like broken intuition, where you don't trust your intuition, where you're suspicious, you're scared, you don't really see clearly. Even when you ask yourself, even if you meditate, even if you dream, you might feel paranoid, you might feel uncertain, unsure, not knowing what to do next, who to trust, where to go, what to do. So the moon is a bit like the dark intuition. It can tell you things are dangerous even when they aren't. So I get a feeling that you don't know where this person stands, where your relationship is, what it wants, if this person wants to hurt you or help you or be with you or be your friend or your, you know, you don't know. You're insecure about the situation, I'd say. So with that, we're going to get 3 cards to explain or clarify how to get along with this person, what you should do to get along with this person. Provided there is conflict here, but there would be no greater point in asking if there wasn't. So we'll see. Okay, so you have the Queen of Swords, you have Temperance, and the Page of Swords. Temperance, this is interesting. Temperance has shown up in all 3 piles so far on this very position. And I swear, I shuffle, I pull blindly. It's not like the only reason I don't do it on screen, and I probably really should just so you can feel that you trust me, is because I am such a bad shuffler. It looks like I can... This is the one that normally lets me shuffle it, and it's this method. And then it's like this. Pull. Is the method I normally use, and I don't do that on screen because you see just how much I abuse my cards. I mean, look at the sides of this one. As I've said, it is 23, almost 24 years old, but that kind of treatment, it's not happy for them. They get all fluffy in the edges. This guy loves me anyways, I'm absolutely certain, but yeah. Anyways, enough excuses there. That was just to say that Temperance has shown up here in all 3 piles so far, and I think it's probably true. The Queen of Swords is a bit detached, not overly emotional. She relies on logic, on strategy, on cerebral. And with Temperance, there's moderation, there's balance, there's no grand gestures or big drama. And with the Page of Swords, it's usually messages. I mean, the pages are messages, but this is a logical. It's, I don't want to say cold and calculated, because that's not it. But a well thought through, an intellectual. Your Dragon Advice card is the Corn Dragon, and it says friends. And Owl Song, whisper secrets to the moonlight, find strength in stillness. Maybe you aren't ready with the Hermit stage yet. Maybe you're not quite healed up and in touch with your intuition, and you need to rely on your intellect. So maybe you shouldn't make any grand gestures or big reveals. Don't overshare to this person until you're sure, until you feel certain again. But do be friends. And this is specifically friends. It could also be talk to your friends about the situation. Could be that. But whisper secrets to the moonlight. Find strength in stillness. I know I'm not supposed to interpret these. They're just for you to meditate over. But I'm still thinking this is not the time to share big secrets with this person until you feel safe and secure. Until you know who to trust with what. And absolutely don't go making any grand big gestures or drama. Take it easy, moderate, pace yourself, balance, and very much using your brain here. Your brain over your heart or your intuition. Maybe you have been hurt. Maybe you've been hurt by this person. If it was a divorce like my first guess, then I can absolutely understand that. Maybe you have kids or pets or something together if it was a divorce again. And you need to be on friendly terms. But friendly doesn't necessarily mean best friend ever. It could also mean like you stay civil. You share updates about what's going on, but maybe not the bigger secrets. Maybe not the emotional depths, because you don't seem to actually trust this person. And with friends here, I'd also say seek support in your friends, the friends you know you can trust, the friends you don't have the moon feeling about, the ones that you really know are your friends, but with the whisper secrets to the moonlight, be careful there too. Not because you can't trust them. And with the Hermit here, it might be that you are not very much in touch with your friends right now, or you don't feel like you have any friends that are really, that tight. So rely on your brain for a while here until you feel safe and certain. This person doesn't seem to want you any harm. They might feel you're a bit pushy, but with you here, feeling like the moon, rely on your intellect. Keep this at an intellectual level. Don't mix the big emotions into it, and you should be fine. I wish you good luck with this. Hello everyone who chose pile 4. Today we are, as I keep forgetting if I said in the intro or just in all the other piles, we're looking at how you can get along with a person that you are presumably not getting along with right now. There'd be very little point in asking if it's someone you already get along with, so we're gonna assume that it's someone you're not feeling like you're getting along with right now. We're gonna start with 2 cards to describe them, and it might not be who they truly are, but it will be 2 cards where you can recognize them. If you don't, it's not your pile. Then we'll get 2 cards to describe you, where you'd recognize yourself. If you don't, it's not your pile. If you feel that this pile describes you and this pile describes the other person, then it's not your reading. Because if we can't trust the cards to end up on the right side of the table, then we cannot trust the answers. So there will be no flippity floppity, there will be no I think that's me, that's them. This is them. This is you. If you don't identify with those piles and recognize it, then it's not your reading. This is pretty important since we're dealing with a relationship here where if you act on it and it's wrong, then it could go bad. So this is important. This is them, this is you. If it doesn't match, it's not your reading. We'll start out by getting 2 cards, as said, to describe them in a way where you would recognize them. And then we're going to get 2 cards to describe you in a way that you would recognize yourself. After that, we are getting the 1 card to just give a very quick view on how they see or feel about you. And then we're getting one card to show how you see or feel about them. We're not actually, sorry, this one wanted 2. And we're getting a dragon advice card, because if this is how to get along with someone, you might need advice. And then it's good with advice. Here we go. Okay, let's take a look. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Oh dear. really not sure if anyone's gonna believe me at this point. I talked in pile 3 about how I do shuffle. I don't shuffle on camera because my version of shuffling is basically this. Like, take the cards, push them down, and then I do this, and then I pull a card. So there is no way, or there is, but there's no logical reason why I should be getting the same cards all the time. But I am. In the first 2 readings, I got Illusion as advice card. In the past 2, in 3 and 4, I'm getting Corn Dragon Friends. Here it actually makes sense, very much sense, but I kind of had to check. So this person, for you to describe them, you have the devil and, or for you to recognize them, sorry, not describe. For you to recognize them, you have the devil and death. Not a stable person? Do they have addictive or abusive tendencies? Or are they in a phase where they might be transforming, or do they just cause death? I'm sorry, death isn't... It's not about real death, but with the devil and death, either this is a former addict who is now trying to find their way in a new life. That could very well be it, actually. They could be a former addict, former abuse victim, or coming from a really bad relationship, or something bad happened to them, and now they are trying to transform and improve. It could also be that they are the addict, they are the abuser, they are the bad person, and they cause damage in others. They cause others to have to transform and change their lives, do cycle turn, small death. Not that kind of small death, you know what I mean. I'm not sure. It feels like either this is someone who's really trying to clean up their act, but they have baggage, and I mean lots of it. Or this is someone who sets others with their baggage and is not a nice person. It's either or. One of those you will recognize. If you don't, not your reading. This is you. You seem absolutely delightful. You have the Father of Wands and the Daughter of Wands. This is someone who is so incredibly passionate, creative, full of life, full of, you know, spark. This is someone who's dancing through life, probably artistic, probably inspiring. You're inspiring to other people. They look at you and they go, wow. Do you know, this is going to sound insulting. I really don't mean it that way. But I'm thinking everyone has heard of Manic Pixie Dream Girl. It doesn't have to be a girl, but you could have a certain amount of that energy. Not in the I exist only to please my partner, but the other stuff. The uniqueness, the quirkiness, the emotionalness, the elevated way of looking at things. So I'm not saying you are a Manic Pixie Dream Girl, but you have a bit of that energy, I think. Very lively, very on fire. I like you, I think. I think so. However, this person would see or describe you with the Lovers. Now this is either, and I'm going to be so unfair now, I'm not sure I like this person, but maybe I do. The Lovers, that's either, this is, they see you as their person, they're basically property, or just their partner. Could be. There are clues, I'll explain, to why I'm going with them seeing you as their person. Probably in a warm and fuzzy way, but there is a hint of property here. I'm sorry. You, for them, would be strength and 2 of coins. 2 of coins, usually balance, yin-yang, male-female. Strength, so someone who is strong, but is this the positive aspect or the negative? I really can't say. I mean, strength, when it's not in its positive aspect, that's someone who is just a bully. Someone who uses their power to control others, to hurt others. But strength could also be, wow, this person used to be in a bad situation, but they transformed and they are very strong. It could be that. And that you're feeling the counterparty thing with the yin-yang balance. I'm not really sure. But since you're asking about how to get along with them, I can't help but get a bit of a bad feeling here. We'll see. We're going to get 3 cards to describe how you should behave, what you should do to, well, get along with this person. And we're getting 3 cards. I've done that in every pile so far. And it has, well, let's see. I'm really hoping that this is more clear than the other cards have been, because yeah. Okay. See, that's interesting. You have the Star, the Knight of Swords, and the 4 of Cups. So, the Star, all about hope, cleansing, renewal. Really about hope, though. Stay hopeful. Knight of Swords. This is the guy that rushes off to fight dragons because he can, not necessarily because he should. The 4 of Cups is... It's not happiness, though. It's not sadness either. It's the resting in between. Not now. No action now. I wonder... If this is a relationship, I may have been wrong about this person. Maybe they're not the bad guy. Or bad girl. Whatever. But it might be that you are... See, you have Corn Dragon friends. Maybe start out as friends. Or maybe talk... I think there are 2 groups watching this pile. I'm sorry, I know that's such a cop-out, but I really think so. On the one hand, we have where this person is a former troublemaker who is trying to start over. On the other end, we have the abusive person who destroys other people. With the Knight of Swords, the fighting dragons without really thinking, as I mentioned, it's swift moving, it's intelligent, but it doesn't necessarily plan. And the whole idea of fighting dragons for the sake of fighting dragons, this could be a codependent situation where you want to save them. Maybe you really are a manic pixie dream girl, and I was not actually being insulting when I suggested that. In that case, you still have the 4 of Cups. It's not time right now for the big, huge decisions. And Spiny Sister, and this is kind of the key, I feel. This works for both the groups I think are here. Spiny Sister, take pride in yourself. And the Corn Dragon advice, friends. If, and again, there are 2 possible situations here, and I don't think I'm supposed to single one out. I think the same advice is basically true for both. First of all, if you are feeling that you might not be good enough, or that this person is, how do I put this then, that they're better than you, they're not. Take pride in yourself. See all the good things about you. If you need to leave them, take help from your friends. Don't rush off drastically. There is hope. Make a plan. Don't jump right now, but talk to your friends. Plan how to get out of this, if this is an abusive partner. Know that you deserve better. Talk to your friends. Even if you have alienated your friends through this relationship, talk to them. Be honest, explain, and they will most likely actually help you. If they won't, there are other ways. There really are. If, however, this is the other way around, and this is a former troublemaker and they're trying to change, and you feel like you can't live up to their level, you're not as good as them, or you can't understand what they've been through, or you can't help them, know that that is not your job. You can be the new No, you can't. You can be part of their new beginning. You can be part of their new life, but you can't fix everything for them. They have to do that themselves, but you are worthy. Maybe you should start by being friends. Like getting to know, getting to trust, so that it can develop naturally like that. They seem to either think of you in the bad guy scenario, you're their property. In the good guy scenario, they think you are their, well, partner, counterpart. Spiny sister, take pride in yourself. Talk to your friends. Or be friends, or both, ideally, really. Talk to your friends. Get advice, input. Be hopeful. Know that there is always better things coming. Not necessarily now or now or now, but good things will come. You can always start over. You can do better. They can do better, but you have to care for yourself first of all. No saving dragons for the sake of saving dragons. But use your mind. Make plans. Have an intellectual way of looking at this rather than veering off into fear or love even. Think about it really, logically, clearly, intellectually. And then, again, I don't think there should be any drastic actions right now. Talk to your friends first. We're going to get a clarifier on this Four of Cups because I am not really sure. That one feels kind of important. No, yeah, you have the Queen of Swords. And that's really then connecting with the Knight of Swords, but it was in relation to the Four of Cups this time. Make a solid plan. Use your brain, not your heart this time. Really think about, be logical, and take pride in yourself. You deserve it. You're good. You're smart, clearly. And whatever this is, if it is the first scenario or the second, you can find a way to, well, either out of it or to fix it. If it's the first scenario, you can't fix it, but you can get out. Ask for help. And if it's the second scenario, approach logically. And yeah, but take pride in yourself as the first one. Realize that you deserve what is best. That's very important. You are a fascinating, creative, very lively and alive person. You deserve the best. Take pride in yourself. Now, I know this was a bit wibbly because of the two drastically different scenarios, but whichever it is, really, all you need to know is that take pride in yourself, you deserve the best. Use your brain to figure out what the best is. And if this isn't it, then get rid of it. If it is, on a logical, honest, really self-analytical level, and that's the best, then you are worth the best. So there's really no two ways around it, even if it is so drastically different. You've got this, and you're worth the best. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that helped.